What is up, PTU crew? Welcome back to the channel. It's Market Monday. I'm your host, Pika Papa. Every Monday, I come at you with a market analysis. Today, we're going to be talking about card prices and how they affect booster box value in the future and currently. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, now is a great time. Just go ahead and push that subscribe button. Be a part of the PTU crew. We do openings here on this channel. I do market analysis on this channel. And we also do a bunch of giveaways. And I am excited to announce our next giveaway. It's going to be happening probably in a couple of weeks. We're going to start it. But I just wanted to put that out there so you guys know what to look for. We're going to be doing a box break of Brilliant Stars. This is going to be a completely free box break. There are going to be 12 winners. Each winner is going to receive 3 packs. I'm going to ship them to you. Everything's going to be totally free. 12 winners. We normally have 8 to 12 entrants, so I'm really trying to, that's why I'm letting people know early. I would really like to get a lot of entries on this so we can get a nice, good, solid 12 winners. That's going to be coming up here in the future, so look out for that. Like I said, you got to be subscribed, so hit that subscribe button and go ahead while you're going ahead and hitting buttons. Go ahead and push that like button. Go ahead and push it. It's right there. Just go down and just push it. Push that like button. Without further ado, let's get into this. We're going to be going off of this roughly made tier system that I made. We're going to be giving points each tier, starting at tier 1 at $5, $10, tier 2. Tier 3 is $20. I kind of did a doubling thing going into tier 4, $40. Then we go to $75, and then we got that nice $100 mark. Everybody likes a $100 card. And then we got those big dogs at $150, tier 7, and at tier 8 is $200. And then we have that one tier 9. I think there's only one card on there. We all know what it is, that Moonbryon at tier 9 at plus 300 plus. I did this to kind of give us an idea of what you might expect when you open up one of these booster boxes, what kind of top-end cards you're looking at possibly getting, and what that overall value of the pulls, how it relates to booster box prices. Now, the number one driver of what value, how much a booster box costs on the secondary market is determined by how many boxes are out there on the market. The rarer the box, the higher it is. Demand is also a factor. It doesn't matter how rare the box is. If no one wants it, it's not going to be as valuable as something, a set that people want more of. They value more of, that more people enjoy. And how do we determine that? That is going to be the key of this particular episode. We're going to be focusing on the tier system, giving it these sets, like an evaluation, using this tier system to figure out how much demand there are for these individual cards on the secondary market. Now, again, I want to re-emphasize that booster box values come from how many boxes are out there on the market. Demand for the boxes is that secondary driving force, and it matters and that factors in how fast they're going to sell. But to figure that out, we can look at the individual card prices and see what people are paying for these individual cards. The more popular the cards, the more desired the cards, the more value those individual cards are going to have. So let's get into it. This is actually the second video. I did one video. It was way too long, so I'm going to kind of condense down the information, give it to you really quickly, okay? So listen up. Here we go. There's going to be a lot of numbers. We're going to be flying through these sets. So try to pay attention. If you need to go back, go ahead and rewind the video and rewatch it if there's something that you feel like was really important that you missed. But I'm going to try to speak clearly and quickly so we can get this information out quickly. Okay, based on Pika Papa's point system, Sword and Shield Base has 32 total points, with the highest card being that Full Art Marnie at $47.46. There's also some great cards like the Snorlax, the Rainbow Snorlax, and the Rainbow VMAX. They're not too valuable because it's the older set. So the way it works is the booster box price is going to start to separate from the single card prices as time goes on, because as more booster boxes get opened, that means more of the single cards are out on the market. And the same thing with the booster cards. The more cards on the market, the cheaper they're going to be, because people are competing with prices. There's just more of them. You can get, oh, you're charging me $9. Well, so this guy was over here charging me $7. And then the sale happens at $7. And once more sales happen at that $7 mark, it's not going to be worth $10. It's going to be worth $7. Okay. But the market fizzes these things out, and we come out with these values because average prices are average prices. People are paying a certain amount for cards, and then that's what we're going to be seeing in this. Okay, so moving on to, but Sword and Shield is, back to Sword and Shield base. Sword and Shield is the second / first most valuable box in the Sword and Shield block. Well, Evolving Skies just passed them up. That was last video, but now Evolving Skies is number 1. So we'll just keep moving on. Rebel Clash is again that top 3 boxes because it didn't receive that, and Sword and Shield base didn't receive the reprints that a lot of the other boxes received. Rebel Clash has 45 total points, more than Sword and Shield base. Their 2 top cards, Boss's Orders and Gold Scoop Up Net, the gold card, the gold version of Scoop Up Net, they're valuable because they have a lot of playability in the meta. Once Rebel Clash rotates out, it's going to be interesting to see where these card prices fall. So again, we discussed it once on the channel before, but it's a good time to pick up rotation when we're talking about Rebel Clashes. All TCGs have a rotating period because they want players to buy the new set, so they don't let the older decks, the decks that are really good, that have been figured out in the meta, they don't want people continually playing those decks, so they rotate them out and they bring the new sets in, and then every year, Pokemon's rotation used to be like in November, right around this time, but they moved it because of the pandemic. They felt that certain sets didn't get a full rotation, so they moved back rotation. I don't know if rotation's permanently going to stay in January, February when the new rotation comes out, but it might go back to November. But it seems now that all the other sets need their full time, so I think they're going to be stuck with it over there in November or February. It's going to be interesting to watch that. So let's moving on. Darkness Ablaze, the weakest Sword Shield base according to the card prices, because besides that VMAX Charizard, which is the most valuable card, hovering around that $39.15. All these are TCG player prices, by the way. There's not a lot of other cards out there. They only have 8 cards worth $5 or more, 1 card worth $10 or more, and then the Charizard VMAX at that $39.15. So there's not a lot of other cards in Darkness Ablaze. Darkness Ablaze got that huge reprint at the end of last year. So we're probably going to see that Darkness Ablaze box really stay at that $125, $130 mark for a long time moving forward. At least longer than the other boxes that are slightly moving up here and there every other week. Okay, moving into Vivid Voltage. Again, not a lot of cards that are super desirable on the market. I like that set. It's a Pikachu set. It's got that wonderful full art Pikachu, and it's got that amazing Rainbow VMAX Chunkachu, which has dropped dramatically. It was way above the 200s for the longest time, dropped down and hovered around that $180, $175, $185 mark for a long time, and it's really settled down in this bear market. It's down to $128.24 as of the filming of this video. And then the second most valuable card is that full art Pikachu, and it was hovering around that. It was around $30, $40 for a long time, and then it dropped down to that $20, $25, and it was hanging around there for a long time, and now it's really dropped down to that $14.24 that it's currently at today, and the whole set only has 27 points on Pika Papa's point system. Obviously, the second lowest so far, just a little bit below Sword and Shield base. Moving on to Battle Styles, a set that really got a lot of bad rap. A lot of people down it. It was the first time that we really got those silver border alternate art cards. There were some alternate art cards in Rebel Clash, but I believe they were like the regular yellow border. So this new age of alternate art started with Battle Styles. We have that amazing Tyranitar alternate art that is just went back up to above $80. It was well over 100 for the longest time, but it really fell down. It was actually falling down to that low 70s, but it's recently rebounded. And we have one of the fastest moving alternate arts in the recent last few weeks, last months, is the Empoleon alternate art that was down in that low 20s to mid $20s price. It's now flirting with $50 at $48.83 as of today. Total points on Pika Papa's point system is 46 points. A little bit of a sleeper. Almost double what Vivid Voltage is. But Vivid Voltage, a lot of people look more kindly on that set. It's worth $135, the booster box value today. And Battle Styles is the lowest valued booster box in Sword and Shield set at around $90. There's deals to be found. If any deals are to be found, if there's any value to be cracked out of a cheaper booster box, it's going to be your Battle Styles at 46 points. And then we're moving into Pika Papa's favorite set, Chilling Reign, the most undervalued set in people's mind. But look at this. It's our first over 100 points, 117 points. It's got that amazing Blaziken alternate art at 115.95, the highest valued card in the set. The Moltres at $107.79. $107.79, and then that wonderful, one of my favorite cards in TCG Pokemon, that Golden Snorlax at $72.16. I personally pulled it 3 times with these hands. I just love that card. It's just, you know, I've had luck with it, so it's just something that's very near and dear to me. 117 points. It's got an amazing 28 cards at that $5 mark, and at 26 cards at that $10 tier, and then $27 at that $20 tier. So you see, you have 75 cards that can get you above when you open a booster pack. That's why I put that $5 tier 1, because you can get your booster back value back. It has over 75 cards at that above booster back price, plus the other ones, 24 in tier 4, and I think that's tier 6, we have 2 cards that are over $100 mark. Okay, moving on to Evolving Skies, the big dog. The big dog in Sword and Shield, 147 points. Obviously, we got that Moonbeyond, the only 9-tiered card in Sword and Shield, the Sword and Shield set block. It's got 40 cards at that tier 10, tier 2, $10 value and above, 17 at the $5 value, 21 at the $20 value, 16 at that $40 value, right? Yep. So there's just a lot of chase cards, and we go up from there. 15 at the tier 5. Tier 7 has 21 cards at the $150 or above. Is that right? No, excuse me, 3 cards, 21 points total. So I those were the point totals, excuse me. Scratch that. It's 20 cards at that $10 mark, 7 cards at the $20 mark, 4 cards at that $40 mark. So there's several of those chase cards that you could really pull a nice valued card. Moving on to Fusion Strike, we got that Gengar alternate art that's just continued to run up recently at $158.91. Just a few months ago, it was around that $100 mark. And then we have the Espeon alternate art at $131.31, and then we have the Mews ranging between 40 and 75. That's the Rainbow Mew, the alternate art V, and the alternate art V Max. And then of course we got that wonderful Celebi and Italian alternate art. 58 total points on Pika Papa's point system. Just a nice rounded set. We're dipped down below that $100 mark, but we have that uncommon VIP battle pass that's worth a couple bucks. There's a lot of values. When Danny Phantom did his box analysis, he said that the Fusion Strike was one of your best EVs that's expected value when you open up the box. There's just a lot of cards that you could really hit and get your value back. Moving on to Brilliant Stars, 74 points, probably the second strongest set in Sword and Shield from people's perspective, as definitely the booster box value of people trying to buy it. It's still below Rebel Clash and Sword and Shield base, but I call those outliers because they're in the very beginning of Sword and Shield. They haven't been reprinted as much. Brilliant Stars is going to be flirting with that reprint. I actually personally believe it will receive a reprint. Just like Evolving Skies did, they're not going to let that booster box run away quite yet. So at 74 points on Pika Papa's points tier. At that $10 mark, it's got an amazing 28 cards above $10. In just between $10 and $20, I should say, because there's 18 at that $20 mark, 4 at the $40 mark, 5 at the $75 mark. And I mean, 1 at the, I keep counting the points, 1 at the $75 mark, 1 at the $40 mark. And this is the first set that we're going to see the trainer galleys, which have included that gives you that extra chance to pull your pack value back. And that, I think, is going to help buoy and push the booster box value up in the future, because it's got that trainer gallery to help support it. You get the double slot pull, pretty amazing thing. So we're moving into Astral Radiance, same thing. Astral Radiance, a lot of people call it a poo-poo set or a mid-tier set. It has 109 points on Pika Papa's point systems. Very competitive in the meta. We got that Garchomp alternate art. Why do I put Garchomp? Why do I keep saying that? 116.93 for the Machop alternate art. And then we got those Palkias and Dialgas running around $50. So there's some great alternate arts to be pulled from there. Moving into the most current set, Lost Origin. It has 89 points on Pika Papa's point system. We got that awesome Giratina that's above $200, so it's in that tier 8 at $218.56. We got the lovely Aerodactyl V alternate art at $117 even TCG pricing, and 89 total points on Pika Papa's point system. We got 21 cards that are above that $5 mark, and we got 8 cards that are going to be in that $10 mark, and then it starts to stagger down 3, 1, 1, and 1. So not huge value in the Lost Origin set. It does have that 89 points, but it just released, and so the card values are kind of at their highest point. It's going to be interesting to watch where these card values go. I see this, we're going to be doing another point update on this point system so we can kind of see where these sets start to go. I just wanted to give you guys a good idea on what the value are in these sets. I know I mixed up my points and what cards, but you can go check them out yourself. Again, this is the point system I use. I started at that $5 mark because that is when you're going to get your pack value back. You open up that pack, you pull a $5 card, at least you got your pack value back. You just got a nice little pull. Obviously, if you get a 10, a 20, and the $40 tiers, you're starting to get nice little pulls. So, to recap, we need to remember that these booster box prices are based on how many booster boxes are available on the market. Then when we talk demand, so there may be only a few booster boxes of, say, Sword and Shield Base and Rebel Clash, but those two sets, although they're above that $200 mark today, and will stay at that $200 mark because I don't think a reprint is coming on either one of those, like almost a 0% chance. Even though they are both still in rotation, they are going to be going out of rotation at the beginning of next year, and it's going to be interesting to see where the card prices go, especially with Rebel Clash, seeing how those top cards that are valued in that set are based off of the meta and being in rotation and being used in the current decks in the format. So Sword Shield Base is probably the most interesting one. That's probably the more investable one because it's got that lovely Marnie, it's got the Gold Zacian and Zamazenta, and it has that Snorlax, both the VMAX and the Rainbow VMAX. And those are cards that people want, and so people are going to continue to crack that set to try to pull those cards even after rotation, but it does have a lot of playable cards in it. But when we talk about the newer sets, the sets with the Trainer Galleries in them, Astral Radiance, Brilliant Stars, Lost Origins, and the future set Silver Tempest, those sets are going to be helped to be buoyed by those card values moving forward, and people are going to continue to want to crack those sets because there's so many nice pulls you could get. But again, mainly the booster box value is based on how many boxes are on the market. So the rarer the box, the more it's going to cost. If that demand is high with the low amount of volume, a low amount of inventory out there on the secondary market, that's when you're really going to start to see a faster rate of incline on those boxes, such as Evolving Skies. Now, Evolving Skies is still in standard rotation, and until we get to the point where it's out of rotation and we can really watch the box prices then, when we know no more is going to be coming out, or we have a good chance of knowing that no more is going to be coming out. Pokemon has in the past before reprinted sets like Ultra Prism but it was a small reprint. It didn't bring the booster boxes prices down too much, and it was able to recover. I believe that box is above $400 today. Again, remember to like and subscribe to this video. We're going to be doing a lot of giveaways. I know I shot a lot of information at you, but we will be touching on this again. I just wanted to get you an introduction to Pika Papa's point system, how I kind of look at sets. When I go to crack a set, like what am I going to crack because I want to chase certain cards. But moving forward, like when I go back and I buy other sets, I look at what could I pull to grade at a PSA 10, and then the older the box is, that's what people are going to look at when they open up an XY box, or soon Sun and Moon as we move past Sword and Shield into Scarlet and Violet. When people go back those couple blocks away, they're going to be buying that $300-$400 or even $250 box. They're going to crack it hoping to pull a PSA 10 of those top tier cards that I mentioned. So the more top tier cards are in that set, the higher demand there's going to be. That's what the key to this video is. So we're talking about the price values correlating with demand to help drive that booster box price up. Just to end it here, you see all these booster boxes here. We're in a different room than I normally do this in. These booster boxes here I just purchased. So Pika Papa puts his money where his mouth is, and he buys what he's telling you should be buying too, or at least if you're interested in investing in Pokemon, what boxes you're going to be looking at buying. Speaking of putting my money where my mouth is, if you made it to the end of this video, go ahead and put a pizza slice emoji in the comments. That's where I know you made it all the way to the end. And I think you'll get an extra entry into the Brilliant Stars booster box break we will be doing in a few weeks, or announcing in a few weeks, and then the entries are going to go for about 2 to 3 weeks, maybe even a month, because I would really like to get as many entries as possible, because there's going to be 12 winners, and we normally get 8 to 10. I think we had 12 entries one time with one of our giveaways, but we need to get, I would like to get about 15 to 20 entries at least. That way, we're going to get at least 12, obviously, but we get as many people with a chance to win. Remember what Pika Papa always says, you got to catch them all. Bye.